everyone, welcome to Life Tips by Ning. In today's video, I'm sharing the explanation for the 29th hexagram in I-Ching called the Abysmal. So based on the image, it's actually both the internal and the external trigram of water. It's doubled up, meaning that you're being trapped in a very dangerous situation. You're faced with great adversity. Even though you might overcome the first layer and you feel like you come out as victory, but guess what? You're faced with a elevated or additional type of unprepared or surprising danger on the outside. So it's a very kind of a unfortunate situation. So in that case, but everybody kind of goes through this eventually in their lifetime. So this is not uncommon. The whole point of this abysmal hexagram is about what should you do to preserve yourself in order to navigate through this great hardship, and eventually you can overcome it and learn something from it. So that's the wisdom of this one. The first answer as a solution is consistency, persistent, and keep on practicing. Think about the old times when there's no technology assistant. Human go through really great danger, like in the Changjiang River. They manually will pull boats across the river, and they submerge their bodies in the running, rushing water. And that's a very dangerous job. But what keeps them going is days in and day out. They keep on doing it. It's constantly practicing. Without great repetition, persistent and not giving up, eventually they get accustomed to that very dangerous situation. So one solution when you're faced with great adversity is the young lion's wisdom of keep on going. Don't give up. Keep on pushing yourself and consistently kind of charging ahead. Eventually you'll get yourself out of it. And the second and more important solution is do not lower your moral standard, because that's human nature. When we're faced with in a very dangerous situation and you see a quick answer, might be something violating rules or kind of go against your value system, but it's a straw you can grab. It's a help chain, and you think temporarily you'll pull yourself out of the trouble, and you might just ignore your inner moral standard and go for it. It says do not do that. Even though in the short run you might feel like you're saving yourself, but in the long run it's harming you and harming you. You'll pay the price later. And more importantly, you're losing a great opportunity to kind of polish yourself. Like, let yourself go through a very rough situation. And if you go through it, what a great opportunity that will elevate you and make you stronger. But if you take the shortcut and especially negating what you believe in and sacrifice your belief system, trying to get a way out, you lose that great opportunity to grow. It's self-growth and self-elevation. So that's the wisdom of this abysmal hexagram. And looking at individual lines, right? It's whomever is able to deliver that persistency, that keeping your high moral standard, you can kind of reach a neutral result, such as the second and fifth line, because both are young line. It's more following that flavor of the hexagram. For the remaining yin lines, because they're either not capable to constantly push themselves or hold to that high standard, they will result in a very misfortunate and negative result. But one more comment before I dive into the details. So even the young ones, you would think, I'm able to deliver what this hexagram is teaching me. even though you're able to do it, the best outcome is still neutral. Out of all the 6 lines, there's no one saying that it's a super supreme, positive, very fortunate result, because your overall context is the abysmal hexagram. It's a very dangerous situation you're in. So the best outcome is neutral. You're minimizing the harm, but you're not gonna have a great gain either. So the first line, this is an yin line in the initial position, and correspondingly, first line and fourth line supposed to be paired, but fourth is also a yin and yin repel each other. So it gives you that image that myself, I don't have enough competency and skill to navigate this dangerous situation. And guess what? On top of it, I don't have anybody on the outside helping me either. And because of that incompetency, I accidentally step in the rushing river. I get stuck in a very quick moving swirl, and I cannot get myself out of it, and there's nobody helping me. So it's a very negative situation to be in. So what should you do? The more you struggle, the quicker you'll be sucked inside and die. So the wisest thing to do is to keep still, keep your composure, wait for this worst moment to go by until the right time comes. You just have to be composed and be inactive and try to kind of meditate your heart, like learn things in this very dangerous and extremely adverse situation, but don't make any failed attempt, because you will not get anywhere. You actually harm yourself. So this is a bad one. The second line is a yang line. It's saying that even though I'm not completely out of danger, because I'm kind of still stuck in this in the middle of this danger, but because I'm yang line, I'm in the middle position, I have this persistency to not give up. I keep on pushing and practice on a daily basis. So eventually I will have small progress and small gains along the way, even though because of the second position, I'm not totally out of the danger yet. So I'll give you an example. If your question is like, what happens to my health or the disease? If you land on the 29th hexagram, it's probably something super significant, like incurable disease like cancer or something like that, which is very unfortunate. But if you land on the second line as your primary result, it means that maybe during your overall treatment journey, you might have a little uplift. You might have a little temporary relief from the pain, from the suffering, but it doesn't mean that you're totally cured. You're still in that kind of dangerous, trapped journey. The time hasn't come yet. So it's like a small gain and small progress without complete win. The third one is really bad too, because positionally it's kind of in the transitional from one danger out to another danger. So even though you move, you feel like you might get yourself out. Guess what? What's gonna face you is greater danger again. So you're kind of trapped. You can move forward, you cannot move backward. You're surrounded by danger. It's a very bad one. So what should you do? Same concept as the first one. The more you struggle, the faster you sink. So don't act. Just let the whole thing pass through and use it as an opportunity to grow yourself and learn from the suffering. The fourth one, even conceptually, right, is in that transitional position from the inner to the outer one. It's super unstable, and it's also a yin line, meaning that I don't have that yang's persistency or kind of the energy, the motivation to push myself to constantly repeat and repeat until I get out. But what's saving this guy from dangerous negative result to neutral is because he's very sincere and honest. He has a very pure intent. Like, I know who I am. I know my limitations. I'm not gonna, like, trying to act my way out of it because I know I'm a yin line. I know I'm not ready. But because of that sincerity and honesty, I can self-restrain. Other people see me. Other people meaning the fifth line, because yin is supporting yang. That's the natural way. The yang one above me sees me. They're gonna shine some light through the window to help me out. The original line description says that rather than using fancy glass and bowls to perform a sacrifice event, I use a very plain ceramic bowl. So even though I'm poor, I'm lacking resources, but my sincerity and intent is the same. I'm very honorably serving with my limited plain tools, and because of that, some people will pass food and help through the window. That actually signifies maybe indirectly or in a hidden way, you will get help and support from natural connections, and eventually you'll get yourself out of the dangerous situation. The fifth line is the main line of this hexagram. It's saying that the river is running smooth. If it can keep the level head and running smoothly, you will not incur danger. However, if you're super proud, overly confident, like the river is overfilled with water, it's gonna rush too fast. That will create a lot of harm and danger. So it's meaning that you have to stay modest. Don't be overconfident. Stay level-headed, because a lot of the danger and risk is self-incurred. We attract it because our own big head or overconfidence or filled with very self-opinionated and ego. Because of that, you naturally attract danger. It's telling you to stay level-headed and calmly navigate through this potential danger. If you can exercise level-headedness and being cautious, then you are able to contain and prevent this danger and come out unharmed. Last but not least, the sixth line. This one is the extremely unfortunate one, because water is supposed to flow down. The Tao, which is the way of the water, is about being humble, go with the flow, steady go. Do not lose this consistent principle. It's keep on flowing and flowing downwards. But this one is at the opposite position. It's full of himself. It's not able to reflect the wisdom of water. So you're not able to navigate through this abysmal or adversity. Instead, because of your lack of integrity, lack of self-awareness, and unwillingness to self-correct, to bring yourself down to a humble spot like water, you're unable to do that. You incur a lot of danger. The line description says your hands are tied, you're trapped with very spiky bushes, which implies prison in the ancient time, meaning that through a long period of time, you're getting trapped. You're being punished because of your unawareness and lack of self-correction. And the purpose of that being trapped and long period of entanglement or stagnation is not to punish you for the sake of punishment or torturing people. Is to make somebody who's so stubborn and set in their own way to realize they are wrong and self-correct. Hopefully, after this long period of torture, the person realizes the lesson and they get themselves back on the right course, and that's a good outcome. However, even after that long period of punishment, you're still not understanding the why, then you're going to proceed to further danger. So that's the meaning of the sixth hexagram. It's a lot of bad connotations of being punished, being treated with force, being placed in prison with great punishment. But the point is to let you eventually wake up and go back to the right track. So that's the explanation for the 29th hexagram in I Ching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.